As artificial intelligence becomes increasingly integrated into content creation, legal questions have emerged over the use of copyrighted material used to train these systems. A recent court decision has major implications for how tech companies can use publicly available content when it comes to AI development. And joining me now is Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. Good to see you. Take us through a bit about this court case. I understand it was Meta who was in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting because this is very similar to the outcome of a case that happened recently with Anthropic. I was listening to the artificial intelligence show with Mike Kaput and Paul Reitzler this morning, and Anthropic had a similar outcome. So both in Meta and Anthropic's cases, they were taken to court over the use of pirated books to train their LLMs. And in both cases, the judges actually threw the cases out of court or ruled in their favour by saying that it's actually fair use because what the AI is generating from those materials is they both called it transformative, so that the output does not in any way reflect closely what the books being trained on actually look like. So they're saying it's fair use because they're creating something new from that material, which I'm not sure many authors are going to be very happy about.
Absolutely. I think it's called appropriation in the art world, and there are sort of blurred lines. But what does this ruling mean for copyright holders more broadly speaking?
Well, it's a real worry, but I think in the Anthropic case, the judge said that it's important that AI platforms acquire these materials legally, not so much getting the copyright, but making sure they at least pay for them initially. Or, I mean, they could even borrow them from a library, but actually, because there's lots of these sites out there that have unauthorized access to books, and they digitize the books and make them freely available to people without having to pay. And so the court cases are sort of around the use of this material. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. There's so many different layers to it. And I think it's going to be a real concern to copyright holders, because it means that if in the US anyway, it's sort of open slather, really, isn't it, for AI tools and platforms to train on anything that's available, as long as the outputs don't resemble what those materials were.
Okay, so could this decision set a precedent in other jurisdictions, do you believe?
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, people do look towards the US often with these legal matters and use them as a precedent to back other sort of outcomes in legal cases and use it as support. And I know in Japan, apparently, there is no such thing as copyright over there in terms of AI and AI development. So over there, it is already quite freely
Prevalent.
available
Okay.
for AI tools to train on copyright materials.
Let's keep it in AI, but jump over to our next topic. And as voice assistants evolve, tech companies are exploring advanced AI integrations to enhance those user experiences. Apple is now contemplating a shift for its Siri model. Take us through a little bit about this one. This is interesting. And if I bring it up on screen.
I mean, if you remember, if you remember previously, Apple did this big announcement that it was integrating ChatGPT, and I'm not sure if you've played with that. It's actually quite clunky. So Siri can't answer. Then she says, I always call her a she, would you like ChatGPT to answer this? And then it takes a minute, and then it sort of clunkily moves over. But Apple is apparently evaluating both OpenAI's LLM as well as Anthropic. So Anthropic's LLM powers Claude, which is a really great tool as well. And so it shows that they're looking to improve Siri, which would be great, and not just looking at OpenAI's tools. So it'd be interesting to see if they're going to try and use them together, or choose one over the other. But yeah, hopefully a better Siri will be at the end of it. And our shareholders are really happy with this. Like, the share price with Apple went up soon as there was talk that Siri was looking to improve. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see. I think what's interesting with Apple is that unlike many other of these sort of digital juggernauts, they're not building their own AI. They're always looking to outsource, which is very different to things, platforms like Meta and even X, who are, building their own.
Yeah, certainly interesting considering that Siri was among the first few telephonic devices that could speak back to you and whatnot. But how might integrating third-party AI impact user privacy and data security as well? It's always a concern.
Oh, absolutely. And that is a very good question. It will depend on, because it will be sort of drawing on things, will the questions that people are asking stay within Apple, or will this information then be leaked over to the LLMs? That's a very good question, and there hasn't been a lot of talk around that yet. So I think with I think with Siri, it's sort of, you can connect it's an option to connect your own Open AI or ChatGPT account through to your phone. So then I'm pretty sure that this sort of information will be across, but there are tools that you can use and measures in ChatGPT to improve the security of your data. But yes, I think there's more to come. The plot will thicken around the security issues around this.